All right, light up those pumpkins, everybody, because we are live. Let's see who else is awake and alive out there tonight. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Happy HalloWeek. What is going on, guys? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to this week's live Monday night transmission coming to you from HDN headquarters in Kill Devil Hills. As always, I'm Matt Arts with Halloween Daily News. What is up, friends? Happy Michael Myers Monday, y'all. Let's see. I see Phil is in the house. He says he's seen Halloween Kills 3 times already. Good man. Good man. Phil already asking, are you ready? I think, yeah, I'm ready. Are you guys ready? It is our time, guys. Halloween is officially upon us in every way. Halloween Kills is upon us. You guys, you've already seen it numerous times. That's really what we're going to be talking about mainly tonight is just a loose conversation of Halloween Kills. First of all, how awesome was last week with Carmela here, our first ever special guest during a live stream here, beaming in from her home. She was cool enough to stay up late past midnight with us and chat with you guys. Was that awesome or what, guys? I mean, I just can't say enough. So Carmela, if you're watching, thank you again. I had a blast. I think everybody did. That was amazing. And now that we've done that and kind of and I do apologize for those glitches at the end too. There were some technical glitches at the end. Those of you that were here know what I'm talking about. And but I think I've figured out how to avoid that in the future. But it is live, so glitches may happen. Glitches in the matrix. Let's see who else is in here. I saw Phil. I saw David Suber. Steve Thompson is here. Tommy Quinn. Art Wishwood is in the house. Patrick's here. Sammy is checked in. Darlene is here. Everybody is here. Ken. Awesome. Awesome, everybody. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Great to see all you guys. And I hope you're having a good week so far. It is officially HalloWeek, as you know. So we are celebrating right now. I've had a wild day today. We were on the road today. We actually went to a new Halloween shop, new to us anyway, called Harry Ghoul's Halloween Planet Superstore. It's up in Virginia Beach. They got 3 locations. Check them out, HalloweenPlanet.com. But we went up there and I got my son's Squid Game costume, so we're straight on that. And they had a ton of animatronics, so of course I had to shoot some Hallow hunting video there. I'll have that up tomorrow. But so it's just been a wild day running around. Before I really get into the Halloween Kills, and of course Halloween 78, this is of course the anniversary date, which is why I decided this shirt would be most fitting. It's our last Monday before Halloween itself. And as you know, October 25th, 1978 is the day it all started with the release of John Carpenter's Halloween. So we're going to pay a little homage to the original, the classic, and just acknowledge that here we are 43 years later to the day talking about a badass, brand new Michael Myers movie that is still playing in theaters that we're all loving. I know I say it all the time, but there's never been a better time to be a fan of this franchise. And you guys are proof of that. I'm proof of that. So, but before we talk about those, and that's really the main stuff we're going to do tonight. It's not even so much news. It's going to be a real loose. I was thinking earlier, like, man, it's our Halloween Monday. Like, it should be the biggest show ever. And I kind of feel, but then I came to like, no, it's going to be the loosest show ever because we're hanging out tonight. It's Halloween week. It's Halloween Monday. Every day is Halloween around here at HDN, but this week, of course, is extra special. And I always look at Halloween kind of as the end of our year. It's kind of New Year's Eve for us. And November 1st, our year starts again. So it's the last week of our year. And also with the ancient traditions, I mean, that was, it was the end of the year, the end of summer, solid. So, so again, happy Halloween, happy HalloWeek, and of course, most importantly, happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. A toast to you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Ha ha ha. Darlene spotted something in the background. Yep, good eye, good eye. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. That's what I was going to say. I got just a few little cool collectibles that I want to share with you guys. And the first one is actually one that I picked up today in our travels. And actually, I picked this up from Target, and my wife spotted it over with the collectibles, with all the pops and the NECA figures, and I'd never seen this, didn't even know it existed. But what this is, if you can see, it looks kind of like a pop, but this is by a brand called Kid Robot, and it's a officially licensed Halloween 2 Michael Myers figure, and I guess they call them bunny figures. Bunny with an H, and I guess that's bunny is their version of pop. As you can see, kind of a cartoon look. Not one I've seen before. I didn't even know this was out. Never even heard of this release. And it was $15 at Target today. So, of course, and there was only one on the shelf. And so, of course, I had to snag him. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I will unbox him, although I do really dig the packaging. But I will unbox him. I just want to photograph him and record him properly in the box first, and then I'll shoot some photos and some showcase video to show you guys next week, and I'll have him out here to show you guys next week. But this is the new Halloween 2 Michael Myers figure. It is a Kid Robot bunny figure, believe it or not. That's pretty cool. If you got to have everything, and for $15, I can't say no to a Michael Myers figure. Speaking of pops, though, Darlene already beat me to the punch by spotting him. He's kind of hard not to spot. But yes, check out what arrived, guys. Check out this monster. This, okay. Like I've said before, like I don't collect every pop made. I don't need all the, but yes, I try to have all the Myers pops. I've got all the Sam pops so far. So when they announced some new ones this year, I pre-ordered this officially licensed Jumbo Michael Myers. Now, again, I will have proper showcase video and photos to share with you guys later on this week. I've already shot it. I just haven't edited it yet, and it's not ready to show. But he's pretty awesome. And so I have him on a shelf with like all the other Michael Myers figures, and I've got a photo I'm going to put on Instagram. But yeah, it just, you'll be able to see in the video the scale of how much bigger he is. Again, though, I pre-ordered this months ago. It was like back when they first announced it. I want to say back during the summer, and it just arrived a few days ago, and he's awesome. The other figure that I pre-ordered at the same time. Oh, and by the way, it never came from Amazon. That order was delayed, and they couldn't give us a shipping date. We ended up canceling that, ordering it from GameStop, which got it to us within days. I forgot to mention that key part. So shout out to GameStop. Yeah, so he finally arrived. So I have to have all the Myers pop figures, so I had to have this guy. Now, if you know the Myers pops, I talked about this before, back when they announced it, but it's basically, well, it's not basically, it's exactly the H2O sculpt. The same body pose, the same head, just everything bigger. And they released that H2O Myers pop back in 2018, if you'll remember. And I knew this going into this, but here's the interesting thing, and I don't have the box down here to show you, but in the video, in the unboxing video, in the showcase video, you'll be able to see this is actually not officially licensed from H2O. It's officially licensed from Halloween 78. And that's just interesting because if you look at his eyes, it's got a little bit of his eyes, a little bit of his face, a little flesh in between the mask hole and the black of the eye, unlike the previous pops that were based on the 78 film. Now, again, this made sense with an H2O pop. That's the film where you do see his eyes more than any of the other ones. So it made sense. Um, anyway, it was just interesting to me. I know you guys might not even care, but it was just interesting to me. Like, it's officially licensed from Halloween 78, but it's clearly the H2O. But anyway, I love him. He's awesome. And if you collect Myers figures like I do, you're going to have to add him to your collection. I was worried if the head was going to be too heavy and he'd never stand up, because some pops, they are super, not very well balanced. But he actually stands pretty well. Pretty good. And yeah, we'll just have him right here for now, watching over me. And yeah, I forgot to mention this too, but also got my official soundtrack CD. Yeah, I didn't do the vinyl. I didn't do the cassette like I thought about, even though I love cassette. I'm CD. I'm still CD. Um, I'm old, guys, but yeah, I went with the CD. That's what I got the 2018 on, the physical version anyway. And it arrived. Again, it was pre-ordered a while back. HK soundtrack. Badass soundtrack, right? Let's see. In the chat, Phil says, "Love that, Matt. Thank you." Maestro Megatron says, "That's badass." Yes, yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, again, I've got photos and video that I'm going to share. I wanted to have it ready for tonight, but it's got him lined up with all the other Myers pops that I've got. Now there is like the glow in the dark of the original, the Chase, the real hard to find one that I don't have, but I've got most of the other variations, and I do have the Stranger Things Max with her Michael Myers mask too, and I include her with my lineup all the time. Um, so, and I got all the Sam pops except for that new unmasked one that's a Hot Topic exclusive, but I can't find that anywhere. And we couldn't find a Hot Topic when we were up there today, and we couldn't spend too much time looking because I had to get back here and get ready to hang with you guys. Let's see. Patrick pre-ordered the 10-inch pop as well. Still waiting for it to arrive. Did receive the new Amazon exclusive. Okay, so you did get your Amazon exclusive. Yeah, because I still haven't heard anything about the standard size one, which is a new pose. But yeah, we ended up canceling our order on that jumbo from Amazon and getting it from GameStop, and it actually got here really quick. Let's see here. Maestro Megatron says, "Love your stuff. Keep up the great work." Thank you. Appreciate that. Ken starting a Big John, Lil John chant. Brett Patrick has checked in. Good evening, sir. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Welcome. Nathan says, "You need a Loomis figure." Yes, I do. I want to get those new Loomis and Michael, that 2-pack that NECA's putting out. It's going to have to be the HK Ultimate first, though. One other showcase that I want to share with you guys, and this one, I'm going to have a full unboxing of this product posted tomorrow. And I was going to share the whole thing tonight, but it's kind of lengthy, so I'm just going to show you the showcase part tonight. But I'll just give you the gist of the story, because there's a story behind this one. And so here's the somewhat condensed version. I tell this story in the unboxing video too. But the gist of it is, about a month ago, we ordered the new 2021 Halloween 2 Michael Myers 6.6 foot animatronic from Party City. Okay, it's made by Techie, available exclusively at Party City. We ordered it about a little over 4 weeks ago from right now. It arrived very quickly. I started to film an unboxing video. It all came to a screeching halt when I realized it arrived damaged. So, again, I'm cutting out some parts here, and you'll be able to see the damage in the video. But so I got on the phone with customer service, Party City. They're like, "Sure, we'll send you a replacement," and nothing happened. A week went by, no email, no shipping order, no replacement. I called again, and I swear to you, on this call, somebody answered and was snoring on the other end, or at least sleeping on the other end. I sat there for like 10 minutes listening to somebody breathing on the other end. I hung up, called again. Somebody answered and said they could help or were going to try to, put me on hold and never came back. Another 10, 15 minutes. Call again. This time the guy says, yes, I see what's going on. They were going to send it to you, but it's sold out. It's on back order now. Which I knew because it's been sold out on the website for a while. It's like the hot animatronic from Party City, the coolest thing they've had, and a great looking animatronic. So he says, but I can refund your money. So I'm like, all right, refund the money. I'll keep the broken one. Refund the money. He says, but I can't do that. I'm not authorized. I got to bump you up to another level. He bumps us up to another level. He says, we'll hear from him in 3 days. We don't hear anything. What we do hear about a week later is we get a shipping notice that the replacement is coming. So now the replacement animatronic has finally arrived, and the unboxing resumed. And thankfully, this one did not arrive. Well, I'll save that for the video. I won't say it arrived in 100% perfect condition, but it was not damaged in the way that the other one was. Again, watch the full unboxing tomorrow. You'll know what I'm talking about. I tell the whole story, and there's video of all that. But what I'm going to show you right now is a little bit of this brand new animatronic in action. This is a video I cut yesterday after getting him fully assembled. So check this out, guys. This is the newest addition to my Michael Myers collection. I guess you could say it's my newest Michael Myers action figure in a way. And just so you know, I've never even purchased a animatronic of this size before. We've got a couple small ones, like a 3 foot and a couple 2 foots. Never anything life size like this, but it was $200. And on Party City's website, when we ordered, we got a 15% discount. So it was $170, which I thought was a pretty damn good price. It was a lot less than the Michael Myers H2O animatronic that was released again back in 2018, and that was available for a few years from Spirit Halloween. And I like the head sculpt on this one much better. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Here, check out this highlight reel. It's not really a highlight reel. It's more of a showcase video of my newest Michael Myers toy. Check it out, guys. Okay, and here he is in all his glory. Super easy to assemble, as it turns out. Took me less than 30 minutes, and I'm as unmechanical as it gets, so if it took me 30, it'll probably only take you about 10 minutes. Techie made it real easy, very clear instructions. All the parts are neatly labeled. You just connect A to A, B to B. Pretty simple. The only part that took me just a few minutes was actually feeding the knife arm through the sleeve here and kind of connecting it to the shoulder. Took just a few extra minutes feeling that through, and then you connect 2 wires, again neatly labeled, D to D, E to E, and it's done. Couldn't be easier, and he looks awesome. I really do love the way this guy looks. After all the drama of getting it here, he looks amazing. I like this head sculpt a lot. It looks way better than any of the previous Michael Myers animatronics that I've seen. Definitely better than the H2O animatronic that was released back in 2018. It's a really good kind of General Myers look. It's not so much H2 specific. It is licensed from Halloween 2, of course, but I would say it's more just a general good looking Myers mask.
The animation is nothing super fast or flashy, but it is a simple, slow slashing motion. And really, what else could illustrate Michael Myers better than a slashing motion? The coveralls look great. They're kind of a charcoal gray, and there's just enough padding to give him just a little bit of extra bulk so it's not just hanging loose off of the poles and so forth. Both hands have some blood splatter on them. And again, no bullet holes, so clearly the coveralls not quite inspired by Halloween 2, but I have no problem with that. To me, this is a great Michael Myers H1, H2, whatever you want to call it. It is a Michael Myers life-size animatronic. He can run off of 4 AA batteries, which is awesome. I've got him plugged in right now, and there's a Velcro opening over here on the side of his coveralls where you can reach in and get to the power box, and that's where you can switch him on and off. So let's check him out in action.
All right. So what do you guys think of that? My new Michael Myers toy, my newest action figure, if you will. um, yeah, like I said, there's more to that story. I gave you the condensed version. The whole thing's on the unboxing, as well as good up close shots of the packaging and everything. All that that'll be posted tomorrow. Um, Darlene says like it better than the H2O. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't a huge fan of the H2O. One thing, just a little thing that this one has is the padding in the coveralls allows just a little more bulk. So that was one thing with the H2O is the coveralls hung pretty flat. I remember, and it was more of an action pose, but the mask was just not. I wasn't a fan of that one. Um, so yeah, I definitely like this better. Dave asks if that's Nick Castle's breathing. I'll say probably not, but it sounds awesome. I love the breathing. It sounds really good and creepy. Patrick says, bought this from Party City as well. Love it. Only complaint is wish it played the Halloween theme as well. Like my Spirit Halloween H2O animatronic. All right, so you got both of them. Excellent. Excellent. Well, Patrick, owning both, how would you rank them? Do you put this one higher than the H2O in your opinion, since you have them both? Um, Personally, I don't mind that it doesn't play the theme. I kind of think that this music it comes with is a little creepier, but I get what you're saying. Maybe if like one setting could play the theme and one play what they have. But again, I imagine it was copyright issues. I love the breathing though. The breathing really sounds on point to me. And he's huge. I mean, he's huge. He's awesome. Yes, Ken knows the music that I use in there. Yep, Nocturnal. That's right. Nathan says that's sweet. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with him. Um, yeah, we shot that in our showcase room, and now we've got him in our living room at the moment. Just kind of lurching, stalking behind the couch in the corner, where Michael would be. Still haven't gotten quite used to it. Walking in after being on the road today, kind of, see it out the corner of your eye and forget for half a second that your new toy is sitting there. Darlene says he's great. Marlita says very cool. David says nice. Yeah, yeah. I love him. I think he's awesome. Um, like I said, it took a while to get here. It was a little bit frustrating. And for a while, I was beginning to think that we were just going to have a damaged one. But luckily, which I was going to make the best of, try to make the best of it. But let's see. Ken says, have that animatronic go off when it's pitch black. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why in part of that video, I made it a little bit darker so you can see. I mean, put him down at the end of a dark hallway in like a haunt or something. That you'd have people pissing their pants, man. And then you have an actor come around the other right behind them, actually dressed as Michael. Then, yeah, there you go. Let's see. Patrick says this one looks a lot better than the H2O. Okay, so there you go, guys. The H2O does move a lot more as well. Yes, but the mask on the H2O is horrible. So there you go. Patrick owns both. And yeah, that's what I would say too. And like I said in the video, I mean the movement is nothing. It's nothing flashy, So yeah, I would probably give that part to the H2O. But if you got to go with just one simple kind of slow movement, it's got to be that. I mean, what else are you going to do for Michael? He's the ultimate slasher. He's got to be slashing. So I love him. Like I said, I don't know how long he's going to be in our living room. I don't know where he's going to live. You might see him in here in my office here from time to time. But yeah, so if you're keeping track now, two inflatables and a jumbo pop, a new bunny, and now the H2 officially licensed. And it's weird again that it's H2 because the coveralls, they're definitely not making any effort to make them look H2. And again, I don't mind. I like the coveralls actually. I think they look good and they're much higher quality than I was expecting, which and again, having that padding, I like that a lot. Again, if I was going to complain about anything, it's as you can hear in that video, you can hear the motor running. But I mean, you know, that's that's just going to happen. And you could mic up that sound too, if you're using it in Haunt or just to spook trick or treaters or whatever. Ken says the mask also kind of looks like the flashback mask. Yep. Darlene says put a Santa hat on him for Christmas. Oh yeah, we're already talking about that. Yeah, he'll he'll be rocking whatever we need him to be rocking, and again, whatever new mask we might need to be have a model for, he'll be our perfect model. And he does kind of lurch. Actually, that was another thing. Patrick, does yours do that? Ours is. I mean, he's like I worry he's going to topple over forward sometimes because he's almost like um, like leaning over a little bit, which is awesome when you're my height. You can look up and get a good shot at him looking down at you and everything. It's pretty awesome. No, I haven't picked up the standee yet. Um, no, because I haven't been to a physical party city. But you're right. I do need to order that. I saw that on the website, Patrick. You're right. I do need that. Now I definitely do. And it's crazy that this is the year of H2 in a lot of ways, which I'm loving because, it is the 40th anniversary of H2. And I don't know that if that's why Universal decided let's license all these things or why all these companies came. I mean, the inflatables, both of those are made by Jimmy, and that animatronic is made by Techie, and then here we have the Kid Robot, which clearly they're trying to compete in that Funko market. It looks like, from what I can tell, and a quick Google search after I bought this thing. Um, yes, Patrick says the H2O Spirit Myers turns side to side with stabbing motion. There you go. Nathan says, "Did you interview Jamie Lee yet, or is it on your page? Would love to see it." Nope, I have not interviewed Jamie Lee Curtis yet. Um, but yeah, I'm sure that's gonna happen any day now. You know, put it out there. We got plenty of time between now and the next film. I'm patient. We can, have her people contact my people. Uh, but no, seriously, not interview Jamie, but we have interviewed a ton of people, and that brings us into Halloween Kills. Let's talk about that for a minute. Um, I published my official review a few days ago on Thursday, and just to kind of have something in writing and to get my thoughts down. And I waited a week and kind of thought about it before, like, really. But I've still only seen it the one time, the one viewing. I am going to go again. We're so busy right now with this week between just Halloween stuff, our own family Halloween stuff, and HDN stuff, and then just soccer and school and all kinds of stuff. Uh, but we're going to go see it this coming weekend, Halloween Eve. That's going to be part of our Halloween weekend celebration. So that is looking like when I will see it for a second viewing. And usually I do enjoy a lot of these movies that I'm super excited for, even more on a second viewing. But the bottom line is, you guys, I mean, no surprise. Of course, I loved it. But I did put down some thoughts and all, and I'm not going to read all that or go through all that tonight. You can read that, and I will do a video version of that review that's going to be up this week as well. But I just figured we just go through and just kind of geek out a little bit about how great this is that we have this movie. I mean, the news this week, of course, it broke records opening weekend, exceeded expectations and predictions, which is awesome. And it defeated Venom, which a lot of people were worried about once upon a time. It defeated James Bond. It defeated, even helped Peacock rise in the rankings and get more subscribers. And it still was the best R-rated or best horror movie of the pandemic era of a day and date release. So it did all of that. Of course, this weekend, it's going to take a drop. I mean, every movie does. And of course it's going to. It's number 2, though, behind Dune. It's pretty good. I mean, we can go over and look at the numbers. I mean, yeah, it picked up another 14.5 million this weekend. And what Dune came out with to put them in number one, 41 million, well below what HK did last weekend on its opening weekend. And again, that's Dune powered by Warner Brothers and massive budget and all-star cast. You know, the type of all-star cast that's got something for everybody, and they're hyping it like it's the new Star Wars. So of course, you know it's going to come out powerful. I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it on HBO Max after Halloween, after October 31st, sometime in November. I'll watch it. And hey, while we're talking about HK guys, have you guys been checking out Christopher Nelson's Instagram? Did you see these amazing shots? He posted this last week for Michael Myers Monday, and again, last week I wanted to, celebrate having Carmela here and celebrate the movie being such the huge success that it was. It was a big Monday. That was really like our big Monday of the year because on on a live stream dedicated to the Halloween franchise, the Monday after the newest Halloween franchise movie comes out. It doesn't get much bigger than that. So, that was the main focus, obviously. But there were some other cool items that I didn't even mention or really quickly probably didn't mention and give their due to last week. And some of those I want to try to um, talk about again this week. And one of those are these amazing photos, and he's posted more since in the week since, but that Christopher Nelson is sharing, and he and Vincent Van Dyke are sharing these amazing behind the scenes photos now. Again, spoiler alert if you haven't seen HK, I'm assuming if you're watching this now, we've all seen it a couple times at least. So, but you guys saw this, right? I'm sure you did. Now we know the gentleman who plays Loomis in the film, his name is Tom Jones Jr., and by profession, he was not an actor. He is a construction foreman on the set where they were filming in Wilmington. And there he is in the corner there. That's how he looks normally every day. And then look at this makeup job that Christopher Nelson and his team did with Vincent Van Dyke and his team. I mean, seeing it right there, I thought it looked great, but like everybody, I was wondering, did they do some CGI there? I saw Rogue One. I've seen, and whatever. I don't even care if they did, but because it looks great. You know what I mean? Like if that was CGI, hey, whatever. It looked great. It looked great. But that's how good it looked. And I think we all thought that. It's amazing. Yeah. Donald's resurrection. That's right, Ken. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, it almost looks fake. I mean, it's just look at that. And again, it's Michael Myers Monday, so technically this counts as a shout out because last week we didn't do shout outs or any of that because, like I said, it was a special event. That was like our big event. You know what I mean? It's not every week we have a special guest here live. So, but it won't be the last time, and we won't wait until next year when HNs comes out either. We're gonna do it a lot sooner than that. So it's fun. But God, these pictures. But yeah, Christopher shared this on Michael Myers Monday, last Monday. But he shared quite a few other. Look at it just looks so chilling. But look, let's look at these others. Our friend Michael Smallwood. I hope you watched my interview with him. If you haven't, please check it out after we're done here tonight. I won't even be offended if you're bored, if you don't like this and you want to go listen to it now. I won't even be offended because it's that good of an interview. It's If you haven't listened to it, please. I'm very proud of it. Of all these HK interviews, of all these interviews recently, not even just the HK. It's been a crazy run these last few weeks, and but you know the scene with Michael Smallwood as Marcus. Look at that. Look at that. From that to that. It's pretty unbelievable. This is some beautiful stuff. This is probably better special features than we're going to get on the Blu-ray release. You know what I mean? I hope not, but this might be better than what they give us on the Blu-ray release. This is great. God, that looks so real. Look at that. Yeah, so I love that they're sharing some of this stuff. And again, this wasn't posted on Monday, but our friend Christopher Nelson, I mean, the sad demise of Mr. Tivoli, played by the late Ross Bacon. If you watch my recent interview with Diva Tyler, she talks about the late Ross Bacon. I wish I had met him and interviewed him. We all remember him from that very memorable opening scene in Halloween 2018. He's very memorable out there in Smith's Grove. I loved how they brought him back in this film. It was definitely a pleasant surprise for me how they brought him back. And it really, I mean, his through line and especially the climax of his story, man, some of the best emotional gut punch that this movie has. And it was amazing. There was a character that we didn't even know we cared about that much until we did. And yeah, that's great. But look at that, guys. I mean, this is just, it looks insane. That was one of those scenes where I was like, oh yeah, yeah. People were going to be pausing on that for a long time. But yeah, apparently he passed away in May. I'm not sure what the cause was. But yeah, in our conversation, Diva Tyler mentions talking to Ross Bacon prior to his death. But yeah, I loved how they brought his character back. He was another character from 2018, much like many of these that I've had the pleasure of talking to in recent weeks. Like Michael and Carmela and Diva. So he was kind of in that group, in that family that were there in 2018 and then brought back. Such a powerful way. But yeah, I love that Christopher is sharing so many of these cool behind the scenes shots. Look, this is sensitive content. Ah, so disturbing. Look at that, guys. Again, this isn't exactly Michael Myers Money Shut Up, but this is Halloween Kills, and this is newsworthy. I mean, this is bonus features before it's even out of theaters right here. Nathan says that he read Mr. Bacon died of cancer. I wouldn't doubt it. Fuck cancer, man. Oh, God. Fuck cancer. Ugh. Well, he did an amazing job, and he definitely, I wish I wish I could have told him, and I know you guys wish you could have told him that what an important part of this franchise he is now. Because he is. I mean, I loved that part. Let's just get into the geeking out and just talking about what we loved about HK, okay? Um, I loved, and I told Carmela this last week, when she gets in the car and it's the total callback to Annie. You know what I mean? And and we're all tensing up. Even I've interviewed her, and I know certain things, but I'm like, what the? No, no, this is not going to happen. And but it's Mr. Tivoli. So unexpected, but so cool. I loved how on TV when they show his face on TV and Michael's face on TV, which is interesting. We, the viewers, the TV goes blurry for Michael, because the camera focuses on our characters in the foreground, and but we see Mr. Tivoli's and remember him, of course, from that scene very clearly. Like of all the other Smith's Grove inmates to bring back, he's the best one because he is kind of the most memorable. I guess the Figaro guy was pretty memorable, but great shots though. So yeah, I love that Christopher's been sharing this, and then yeah, we were talking about Mr. Tom Jones Jr. earlier. Another one of my recent interviews. I hope you checked out. Uh, I didn't talk about it much last week. Again, we premiered a clip and announced it, and but wanted to get to our special guest. But my interview with Douglas Tate, who worked with James Jude Courtney and Aaron Armstrong in their portrayal of the Shape in this film. There's Christopher Nelson, another photo that he shared on opening day, actually, at the Myers house. Brilliantly recreated. By the way, guys, have you watched Sean's Horror's Hallowed Grounds episode for Halloween Kills? He dropped it on the Saturday after the movie opened. I actually have not watched it. I'm ashamed to say I have not been able to carve out an hour just to sit down and enjoy it yet, and I don't really want it in the background. I want to actually be able to sit down and enjoy it. Things have been crazy, and I want to give it its due, so I personally have not watched it yet, but if you haven't, like me, then make sure you carve out some time this week. It's a brand new episode, and but I haven't watched that. But I'm pretty sure, having not watched it yet, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they recreated the Myers house in its entirety inside the Screen Gems studios in Wilmington. So all of that is indoors inside a soundstage. I think. I'm not positive. I haven't confirmed this. And Sean's video very well may have other info. But that's what I believe happened, and that makes the most sense in a lot of ways because they could build it from the ground up, basically. And it looks like what they did. But damn, don't they look perfect? We're geeking out. We're talking about what we love about Halloween Kills. I love the 78 stuff. Okay? I love it. It's perfect. It shoots us back there so early in the movie. I didn't think we'd be going back to 78 like that so quick. But I kind of love it. And just that first quick shot of the Shape and that mask recreated better than it's ever been recreated. Oh, man. Immediately, we're like there. The lighting, the cinematography, they nailed the look of those 78 scenes. And then Loomis showed up. And we know it's not Donald Pleasant's voice, but I mean, it's a good voice. And that is, I believe, the same voice of Loomis. That's not Tom Jones Jr. That's another gentleman. I believe he's the same voice from the 2018 film as well. And then I know you've probably seen the shots online. I should have one queued up right now, but I love when they take him and they don't even take him. He just stops, much like he does after Judith's death. And there's been those posts, people have put those photos, those images from the Judith death with little Will Sandon and his young Michael standing there with his mom and dad, and the camera slowly pans out, just like Michael standing in the exact same spot those years later. And the camera slowly pans out. Boom. Credits. And while we're at it, how about those opening credits, guys? I love those too. Ah, all right. I'm going to start looking at some of your comments here. I am just rambling because it is still so in my head. I haven't stopped thinking about it. And the more I think about it, the more I want to watch it again and love what I saw. Larry Moore has checked in. What's up, man? David says, yes, you're correct. Built on set. Thank you, sir. That's what I understood. Yep. And again, I mean, that kind of makes the most sense. And I love that thinking, too, because they weren't thinking like that in Halloween 5 or Halloween 6. You know what I mean? They weren't thinking like, let's go to a soundstage and build the Myers house from the ground up so it looks perfect. But that's what these guys did, and look, it looks perfect. I know I was wondering, and I wonder if it ever came up in conversation, but I was wondering if they were going to approach my friend Kenny, who owns the Myers House NC, which is a life-size replica of the house, and it's located in North Carolina. I don't know if they ever had conversations about that or anything. I understand that where it's physically located, it's not actually in a neighborhood type place where they would want it to be set, ideally. But I just wonder if that ever came into conversation. But certainly, if you've got the time and the money and you can build it from the ground up, indoors, and like I said back when, yeah, I mean, it's perfect. It's perfect. All right, you guys chime in. What do you think? I mean, yeah, I could talk about the 78 scene all night. I mean, I just love all that stuff. I love young Hawkins. I love that. You know, Halloween ends is Halloween ends is going to be number 13, guys. How rad is that? 43 years. And in those 43 years, nobody recreated 78 Michael's mask and 78 Myers house better than this team that pulled it off in HK. I mean, am I wrong? You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Let's see. Jennifer checks in, says, hey guys, just wanted to say happy 43rd anniversary to the original Halloween. Wow, 43 years. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. 43 years, guys. Almost my entire life. Um, it's crazy. And we are here talking about it tonight. We've been here almost every single Monday for more than the last year, for like the last 14 months. Almost every Monday here talking about this. HDN has been talking about this franchise. You know, now we're in our 10th year. Crazy. Ken says Young Hawkins looked great, spot on. Yeah, I thought Young Hawkins was really good. Um, the actor's name is Thomas Mann, I believe, and interestingly, I know I recognized him. There's a family Halloween comedy called Fun Size that we've watched in our house for years, ever since my son was little. And we still watch it because it's hilarious. It's great fun, PG, Nickelodeon type Halloween fun. But he's in that, and he's awesome in that as well. So it's great to see him all these years later in such a pivotal role in a Halloween movie. Another Halloween movie. David hitting with the facts only a repeat viewer would know. I love it though. You notice there was 13 pumpkins in the opening credits. I did not notice that, David, but I will be noticing on my repeat viewing. Yes, sir. How about that, guys? That is awesome. Makes perfect sense. And Ryan Turek said that he counted 31 kills in the movie, by the way. He admits that he might have missed a few in the mob massacre. I don't think anybody has a firm number on that, um, but 31 confirmed kills. It's pretty good. It's a good number to if you got to stop. That's a good number to stop on. 31. Protect Safe says when Michael threw the drone and broke the light with his hand. Great scene. Yeah. Oh yeah. With our friend Diva, and oh yeah, that was so brutal. And how about when he's just checking knife after knife in this dude's back, played by Lenny Clark. I believe the character's name is Roger. And again, just the brutality of Michael letting our friend Diva, who her character's name is Sandra, she's not dead yet. Let her sit there and just as she's helplessly dying, just watch him just just finding the right blade over and over. I mean, it's Michael's twisted sense of humor, but it's also, you know, it's Michael's sinisterness as well. It's just all levels of evil right there. All levels. I mean, that's somebody she loves. I mean, there's that. It's the fact that he's literally, I mean, using this guy. It's just brutal, but it's great. They were great. Krista D says, "I like when Michael stabbed the person in the car with the eye." Yes. Oh, that was good. Yep, that was our friend Michael Smallwood that got stabbed in the eye. Yeah, that was one of the best, and so just sudden. But how about here? I gotta look at y'all for this for a minute. You gotta. I do love Michael's death. Marcus is the character's name, and that effect we were looking at is unbelievable. I mean, it's so. But man, I did love the stethoscope gag when he's like trying to strangle Michael with the stethoscope, because you guys understand that going back to 2018 to Halloween 2018, that's his character's whole thing in that film is they're leaving to go to the Halloween party, and he says, "Oh, I need my stethoscope. I need it. I need it." She's like, "No, you don't need it. Let's just go. We're going to be late." He's like, "No, I'll go back and get it." He goes in. He comes back a second later. He's like, "Oh, you never guessed. It was in my pocket the whole time." Now, during those few seconds when he's in there looking for it, that's when Carmela's character, Vanessa, actually makes eye contact with the shape in the 2018 film. You can go back and watch it. It That's the way it plays out. The stethoscope takes him away, gives her just a second to see Michael. Michael sees her, and then of course they reunite later on. So then cut kills, and they're leaving. And remember, Michael says, or Michael Smallwood playing Marcus says, I forgot my stethoscope. He forgot it again. Running gag. He runs back in. He says, that lady's still got my stethoscope. Well, the lady he's talking about, Carmela confirmed last week, the lady he's talking about is Nancy Stevens as Nurse Marion. So, of course, Nurse Marion would be wearing his stethoscope at a certain point. I just love these little touches, these little, added Easter eggs. And I love the stethoscope carrying through from 2018 being a defining thing about these characters and what happens to them. And even in that so brief of a scene, and then it carrying through right to he's literally doing what else are you going to do if you're him at that point? If you're Marcus, you're going to use whatever you can get your hands on. It was funny, but it was also at the same time like, well, hell yeah, try anything, go for it. Yeah, at least So I love that whole thing, and yeah, stethoscope all the way. I love it. But you guys tell me what you think. Patrick says we want a prequel of Little John and Big John moving into the Myers house. They were great. I would love to see that. Yeah, I loved them in it. I did. And how about that Michael again, the ultimate trickster. I always try to point this out, and I say something to this effect in the review, but Michael, and they even say it at a certain point in this film that he uh God, I don't know the exact quote. I know David Suber probably already knows the quote, so you can help me. But it's basically, he's a 6-year old with the body of a man and the mind of an animal or something to that effect. But I've always kind of thought that too, that Michael mentally never really evolved beyond that 6-year old killing Judith. And then there is the added thing that he is pure evil and he is something other than a man, which John Carpenter says in every interview and has always said, and that is a thing. But it's got to walk that line to where it's also he's a man, but at the same time he's not. He's something more. Like things do go his way a little bit more, so he's got a little supernatural edge to him because he's pure evil. But if you're doing it right, like in 78, it walks that edge to where it's still both. And that's what John Carpenter told me. I guess I should bring that up on this 43rd anniversary. I know plenty of you have heard me talk about it before, but I interviewed John Carpenter. It was back in 2016, about 5 years ago. And I asked him straight up, is Michael Myers a man, just a psycho in a mask? Or is he something supernatural? And John Carpenter's answer to me was he's both. Plain and simple. He's both. If you know John Carpenter, you're not going to get a whole too much elaboration on that. But if you look at pretty much every interview he's done when he talks about that, he's always talked about Michael like that. And all those lines he wrote for Loomis in the original Halloween and in Halloween 2. That's all John Carpenter's writing. Loomis is speaking about the evil. So all that's always been there. And so I love that that's there now, here, with him just surviving already what he's surviving, and it's just on full display. I titled my review "Ultimate Michael Myers" because I keep saying that term because it's all I can really say that really to me is truly what we're talking about here. It's Ultimate Michael Myers. I also said in my review that I think James U. Courtney doesn't just play this role and become he now in this film inhabits the shape the same way that Michael inhabits a pair of coveralls. Meaning, if the coveralls weren't always his, they might not even have been his 5 minutes ago, but the second he puts them on, you've forgotten that they ever were ever worn by anybody else. And that to me is James Jude Courtney in Halloween Kills. I love Nick. We all love Nick. I love Dick Warlock. He is like the ultimate, the all time. I love all these guys. I've met almost all of them. I've gotten to interview almost all of them. They're all so amazing. But you cannot deny that the way Michael is presented in this film, from the music and that electric guitar amping up, literally amping up those classic themes, to the mask, the damage, the anger in those blackest eyes. Come on. I called it in my review. I said it's a more visceral, dirtier, meaner film. And it's still got those postcards of death that Christopher Nelson told me about way back when I interviewed him, way back before the 2018 film came out. He told me that he and David Gordon Green in that film looked at the death scenes as postcards of death. And there's so much more of that in here. And not just the postcards, not just the aftermath. We get a lot more of the action this time. So to me, it's ultimate Michael Myers. Everybody told us in all the interviews leading up that this was the story of Haddonfield. Whereas the last film was the story of Laurie Strode, this is the story of Haddonfield. And it is that. But having seen it now, you guys tell me what you think. But to me, it's much more about Michael Myers. The shape. It is Halloween Kills. It is Michael doing his business, going about his business. And I said for the longest time that I felt like this would be to the 2018 film, much like what Halloween 2 is to the original Halloween. And now I can say, to me, it is absolutely that. Everywhere that Halloween 2 with Dick Warlock steps up the 78, this is where this film steps up in 2018. And yeah, the Easter eggs is another thing that I could spend a whole night on, and I'm not going to here, but so many little details, so many little things that I know I will appreciate even more once I see it again. The mask, they knocked it out of the park. Not just that 78. They knocked that out of the park. And Aaron Armstrong, for his part, if you watched Doug's interview, he goes through a lot of who did what and stuff. And but man, James Jude Courtney in this mask. Oh, and I don't even think are we ready to talk about Out of the Mask? Now I know you guys have seen those photos. I could bring those up if you want. There's been photos surfaced, bloody disgusting, sharing them, of James in makeup, burn makeup on his face. Not exactly what we saw, but you do see it. You can go through and freeze frame, just like in 2018. But it's the shape, and he's out of focus the way he should be. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the live chat right now. Let's see. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Jennifer says Thomas Mann was in Skull Island also. Very cool. I actually love Skull Island. Of all these new Kong Godzilla movies from Legendary, Skull Island has been my favorite. Love that movie. Yeah. We need to try to get Thomas Mann on here. I'd love to interview him. Let's see. The Raft Cave says favorite kill was the nurse in the car. Now, are you talking about the actual nurse, Nurse Marion, in the car? Or are you talking about Carmela after she's out? Carmela, who's dressed as a nurse. Nathan says fluorescent light bulb kill looked very real. Yeah, it really did, and pretty inventive. I mean, I wonder was Michael thinking about that? Marlita says, I like when Michael is beat. It is so brutal, but he fight back, and that was amazing. Yes, it was. Oh, yeah. Well, did you guys for a half a second feel like it might actually end with, like, them beating Michael? Like, yeah, that was so great when he reaches down to grab that mask. Because we had seen that image so early in the marketing. Like so early. I want to say in that earliest rap video when they wrapped filming back in 2019. I want to say that they had that image of him reaching down with the bandage hand and picking up the mask. So to now finally see it, and you could argue now, oh, spoiler, but that didn't spoil the moment for me. Even though now it was like, oh, that's why that image is so key because it's such an epic moment in the film. And yeah, it's so good. Like I said, though, ultimate Michael Myers. I mean, this is as far from, the shape creeping in the shadows as you can get at this point, but that's because he is a trapped shape. He has never been put in. So what is he going to do? He's going to do what I mean, you trap a shark. What are they going to do? You know? Nathan says the girl shooting herself with the gun was a crazy kill. Yes, it was. Yes. That's our friend Carmela McNeil. Yep. Yep. And she talks about doing that stunt herself, actually, uh, in our live conversation that took place last Monday. You can watch that if you haven't already. That's in addition to our interview that was published a few weeks ago. And but last Monday was really a follow-up interview. Young Major says Karen got Michael twice. She said gotcha in 2018, and the second time in Kills when she led him to the ambush. Yeah, Yeah, and that's why. I mean, again, I hate to say it, but yeah, that's why she had to go. I mean, she. I mean, if you're Michael, that's. I mean, yeah, she got him big time and twice, and yeah. So, how did you feel about her end? The end of her story, at least as far as we know. I saw some of your comments on here earlier saying that maybe she's not completely gone. Hey, we all, at this point in 2018, just remember, we all thought for sure that Hawkins, we'd never see Hawkins again. I think some of us, even though we wasn't killed on screen, assumed we'd probably never see Cameron again. But, we were wrong about that, much less some of these other 2018 characters. So, but with Hawkins, yeah, we all. It wasn't until the rewatch last summer, when David Gordon Green kind of strongly hinted that Hawkins, we hadn't seen the last of Hawkins. And then knowing that they shot flashback scenes, I always kind of figured that, yeah, we're going to see a young Hawkins in those flashback scenes. And they did play out very much like I wanted them to, like I was hoping. In other words, not seeing a whole lot of Loomis. He's there, but kind of not the focus. You're seeing it through Hawkins' POV, which is the way it should be. Jennifer says, my favorite scene in HK was the fire scene in the beginning. That was so intense. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know my favorite scene yet. I got to rewatch it a few more times, but man, yeah. Everything about that firefighter massacre was so good, and I loved every minute of it. And the music, again, it just helped present Michael at that moment as the slasher king that he is, that I think he is. Young Major says, wouldn't be surprised if in Halloween Ends they make it so when his mask gives him more immortality. I don't know if they're going to go that far into it. That would be almost like a Curse of Michael Myers, explaining things with like runes and stuff. Although I'm sure you guys heard the end of Laurie's narration at the end. Now that was a huge Easter egg that really perked up my ears when she says at the end, that's the true curse of Michael Myers. Hello, Halloween 6. Protect Safe says, another crazy afterthought. Michael and Laurie never met in the movie. That's right. And actually, if you guys have been watching, I predicted that. That was one of my few predictions that I did say, is that I didn't think Michael and Laurie were going to interact at all in HK. My other one was that we were going to hear the Halloween 3 Silver Shamrock jingle. So now that will have to move to Halloween Ends. But the masks were great. They look great. And by the way, last week I mentioned the three trick-or-treaters. I forgot J. Gavin Wild's name. I wasn't able to. I had a brain fart and couldn't say his last name. He is the other trick-or-treater. We interviewed Salem Collins and Giselle Witt. They play the characters of Christy and Mindy. And but it is J. Gavin Wild who is also there with them. He's the one wearing the skull mask, and he's actually the one of those trick or treaters that wears the silver shamrock mask in every scene. The girls have theirs; they're carrying theirs, but he's actually wearing his the whole time, and we never of course, never exactly see what happens to him. I'm wondering if that might be a deleted scene somewhere along the way or something. I'm also very curious and very excited to think of the possibility that David Gordon Green, knowing how he did bring so many of these 2018 performers like Diva Tyler, like Michael and Carmella, and brought them back in, like Ross Bacon, brought them all back in and gave them so much more to do in this follow up film. I'm very curious and actually hopeful and rooting for David Gordon Green to do a similar thing with our friends Salem and Giselle. And because when last we see, they're running away, and that's kind of the last we see. So I'd love to see them 4 years later in Halloween Ends, and that right there is another thing I just wanted to mention. I think I might have mentioned it last week, but again, everything was a little out of order last week. But I definitely mentioned it on Friday's Halloween show episode. But yes, David Gordon Green reconfirmed again what was uh, pretty much known, but he said again that yes, Halloween Ends will do the time jump, and it will take place specifically 4 years later, meaning in real time, meaning when the movie comes out in 2022, that's when the action on screen is taking place, Halloween 2022. Um, and he also confirmed at the movie's premiere that they are going to begin filming in January. And and if you watched our interview with Doug, he's hearing that it's looking like possibly down in Georgia around Atlanta, which makes a lot of sense. Screen Gems, where they built that Myers house in Wilmington. Well, when you know it, they have another studio with lots more sound stages in Atlanta conveniently as well. Of course, Halloween 2018 shot in Charleston, South Carolina. What did I say? Charleston, South Carolina. HK shot in Wilmington, North Carolina. We're trying to figure out where Halloween Ends is going to shoot, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it go down in Atlanta. Of course, I'd love to see it come back here to Wilmington again, and that's what I had been hearing for quite some time. But now I've heard from a few people that it's may not be set in stone quite yet. So, of course, when I know, you'll know. All right, let's go over here to the live chat, see what everybody's talking about. Let's see. Samir says there are still people who don't know that Michael and Laurie are not related and that this is a completely different reboot. Halloween 2 and the other sequels did not happen. Oh yeah, I mean I'm sure to plenty of casual fans they don't realize that, just casual audience members I should say. Halloween Vibes says he literally pulled a John Wick number in that scene. That's good. What's up, Vibes? Good to see you here, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Patrick says Karen's death was great in the way they filmed it, like Judith's death. Yeah, would have been even better if it was from Michael's POV through the mask eye holes, like in '78. Yes, that would have been better. That was a missed opportunity. You're right, Patrick. That would have been better. That would have completed it even better. But yes, I did appreciate that it was pretty much in the same spot and very much in the same way. And again, the brutality, the anger. I think you gotta expect that though when you pull a gotcha on Michael twice. Nathan says, "Will Laurie die in Halloween Ends? What are your thoughts?" I don't know. I mean, I could make just a wild guess right now and say the most obvious thing that yeah, at the end, Laurie and Michael will both die, for whatever that means. Um, I don't know. Who knows? But I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it ends. You know what I mean? Like them kind of like the end of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if, something like that. Who knows, though? Um, I kind of feel like, though, what else would they do? I mean, this is nothing if not Jamie Lee Curtis's way to end things properly. Like, I thought H2O was a perfect ending to the Laurie Strode story. And then when it got retconned with the beginning of Resurrection, like, that's my least favorite part of Resurrection, is all the stuff with Laurie in the beginning. Like, I even like the clown guy that, is a fan of all the serial killers. And then Michael, hands him the knife and everything. I love that. Like, he was great. I just, you know, I didn't like that ending to the Laurie character ever in that film. And especially with how good the ending could have been with H2O if they just stopped. And then Resurrection could have just been picked up with the kids coming into the house. But, and there actually is a cut of that where it's like all just the kids' POV on Resurrection, which is kind of, in some ways, a better way to watch it. David says Michael got the final gotcha. Yes, he did. Yep. Ken says favorite death scene was Big John. And how about how he posed Big John, Lil John, just like their photo. Michael always posing his victims, leaving these postcards of death. Nathan says Danielle Harris should return for ends. That would be awesome. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if she'll return for Halloween ends, but who knows? I mean, with this franchise, I've said before, who's to say? Like, I think, never say never. I never say never. But I would think after Halloween ends, Jamie Lee Curtis is done, and I would say, if I'm Malik Akkad, I would say let's just let the Laurie Strode character be, and maybe like we just gotta let the Dr. Loomis character be, maybe, unless you do a prequel thing like we've talked about before, like a Smith's Grove Young Loomis TV series on HBO Max. Do it like Bates Motel style, where it's all kind of in origin. You can mix up some of the mythologies, but still kind of carve your own, but have it all. And then Michael's there in the corners of, room 31, and you know, we've talked about that stuff. That you could do, but aside from that, you know, don't recast a Loomis, don't recast a Laurie. Get back to the idea of, a new. I guess now we're getting into what we want after ends, but this is just me. But I tell you what, I read just recently on Blade Disgusting. Did you guys see the pitch from those guys that are making the new Hellraiser movie? They they had a Halloween pitch years and years ago, and long story short, it's a really good pitch. I think it was similar to like what we had heard about Halloween Returns that was in development. It was kind of along those lines, but it basically got out of Haddonfield and away from Laurie and all that stuff, and just got into Michael as a guy that goes to a different town every Halloween, and when it gets dark, he puts on the mask and goes to work. And it's always the same mask, and he's just a drifter. He's just a guy. It's a great pitch. You should go read it. I'll link it down here after I'm done. But I actually feel like that would work at any point after Halloween ends, after this current. We know what they're doing now. This is the Laurie Strode saga again. But after that, it would be a way to carry on. But there's tons of ways. And like I've said a million times on Monday nights here, I would never put anything past this franchise. Never say never. I wouldn't even say never say Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be back. I don't think she's going to. Never say never. Uh, but to me, those guys had a good idea though, and it was just that Michael is just a guy, and you don't know what he does the rest of the time, and he's a drifter, and he just shows up in whatever town he's in. That's where he's at, and he just goes to work, and you could replay that over and over and over again. Different town, different kids, always Michael. And the way they describe it is really really kind of cool. Jennifer says, like your Michael Myers Funko Pop. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yep, one of my new additions. Protect Safe says it'll flash back to the end of HK where many cops are on the scene at the Myers home and they temporarily catch Michael for 4 years. Interesting. And maybe they saved Karen. Now that would be a twist. That they capture him again for those 4 years. Because you've got to wonder if he's out, why wait the 4 years? This is part of why I'm very curious of what David Gordon Green has in store for us. I'm fully on board now. I'm in this. Like give me your Return of the Jedi chapter. This was supposed to be The Empire Strikes Back. I think it is. I think it pretty much delivered on that. I think the only way it could have delivered on that anymore would be as if Allison didn't make it herself. But I understand that they've got to keep Allison, who is in many ways the new Laurie in many ways. If Laurie's the new Loomis, then Allison is absolutely the new Laurie. Of course, by that logic, you could also say that Allison is the new Jamie Lloyd in many ways too, because Jamie Lloyd was the new Laurie of her era. But let's see. David says, I think Laurie will die, but Michael will disappear with his mask laying on the ground like he disappeared in 78 at the end, back in the wind. That's a good ending. That's a good ending. Or maybe it ends, they're both laying on the ground like I'm talking about. And then when Allison or whoever shows up and looks down, it's just Laurie. And like you said, he's gone, just like he was in 78. Boom. End of story. That would be good. I like that. Nathan says maybe Jamie will agree to a 2028 50th anniversary Halloween movie down the road. H50. Again, I never say never. Never say never. Matt V says that was an awesome interview last week. I assume you mean when we had Carmella on here live last week? That was awesome. That was so awesome. I mean, all these interviews have been awesome, and everybody's been totally cool. But that was, it was kind of an adrenaline thing because it was like you guys and she's here and all this energy and then just the timing of the movie being number one, having this killer weekend, no pun intended, and just all of that. Your excitement, her excitement, my excitement. It was just a lot of fun. But yeah, now that we've done that, I think we've kind of opened that door so we can do that some more from time to time. And don't think that that we're slowing down on the interviews. This is HalloWeek, like I said. There's a lot going on, but we're not done. There's a lot of interviews coming, and we're not done with even Halloween Kills interviews. There's something I'm working on that's going to be happening very soon that I'm just not even going to jinx it by even talking about it. I'm just going to say, just stay tuned, subscribe, all that good stuff, because you're not going to want to miss this one. And then there's some other things that you're not going to want to miss too. But you know how it goes with the interviews. But we're going to keep those going. And I do look forward to having special Mondays from time to time where we bring in a special guest from time to time. And I think that just adds a whole thing. And then we could just really, like we did with Carmela, just give that night to them. And after I ask my questions and my geek out moments, then you can have yours. And I think that we can do that more moving forward. It's not going to be an every week thing, but we can definitely do more of that because that was a success. And to hear you guys enjoyed it, and she said that she had a great time, and so that just really worked out well. But I knew I just wanted to do something kind of special with coming off that weekend, and so that just worked. She had offered, she had said that she wanted to do it sometime, and so I said that would be the perfect day and the perfect guest, and it was. And you guys responded exactly like I knew you would because we know each other now, and we have this rapport, and that's pretty awesome. Man, I can't believe that next Monday it's November 1st. Everybody always asks if I get depressed after Halloween, and no, it's like like I said, it's like New Year's Day. It's like, okay, I'm like Jack Skellington at the beginning of Nightmare Before Christmas. All right, Halloween's over. Now it's time to start playing next Halloween. We're HDN. Every single day is Halloween. So no, it's not. It's not depressing. If anything, it's like, all right, now we got all this to look forward to. So, I'm not signing off quite yet, but next Monday we are going to be here. Is what I'm getting at. And we're also going to be doing the Halloween show this Friday night. So you definitely want to tune in to those live streams. And yeah, the Mondays are going to continue. Now, looking down the road, there will be like a little winter break, little hiatus. And even when we come back, they may not be every single week for a little while as, as we're getting back into the swing of things next year. But when we do them, there are going to be more innovations. Just like those of you that remember how it started when everything was being done from my phone and there was no production anything, and that's how it was for a long time. It was just that, and now we've graduated to a little bit better setup, I hope, and a little bit better presentation, I hope. So we're gonna keep trying to move it up and keep trying to do more here on Mondays as it pertains to Mondays and this franchise, but in general as well here on the channel, on the website for HDN in general. We're just gonna try to keep improving and pay attention to the data and to you guys, what you like, what you don't like, what's working, what's not. Some things are going to get retooled. Some things may take on a little bit of a different look. Some things we do a little bit more of, a little bit less of. But I can tell you the Mondays aren't going anywhere. This has been a success, and every week still it just gets bigger and better. And I know a lot of you watch after the fact because we are on late, and I know it's a weeknight. It's a lot of people's worst weeknight, and I get it. So if you watch this after the fact, we love you too, and we appreciate you. And of course, all of you that are here live in the live chat every week, week after week. It's awesome. I look forward to it. It's always a blast. So, all that being said, final thoughts on Halloween Kills. Not final thoughts, but final thoughts for tonight. Let me see what you have first. Nathan says Michael will finally talk and Halloween ends, or would that kill the vibe? Ken says that would kill it. Yeah, no talkie, I agree. I mean, we got that. You want talking Myers? Like I always say, I mean, the Rob Zombie films are there for a reason. That is a whole nother universe featuring characters we know and love. So there you go. That's talking Myers, and it's there, and it's good for what it is. But this would not. I don't see how it would fit. I loved that those shots of James chasing after Karen though, not wearing the mask. Do you remember the shot? Let's just geek out for a second again. Do you remember the shot near the end? You want your mask? Come and get it. And he's like, all right. I just love this because we've never seen Michael like really in the shape mode without the mask. If you think about it, even in young Michael, he puts on the mask, then it gets to business. It's always, when it's the Tony Moran scene. For those few seconds, he's kind of not the shape. He's like a confused 6-year-old for a second, and then he gets the mask back on, and he's back. You know, it's always like that in these movies, but I loved it that this time he kind of was still the shape. You know what I mean? He kind of was. He was doing the walk. It was everything. The camera was still framed exactly as if he had the mask. So they're not even like seemingly hiding anything. Everything's being edited just right, so we don't get a super good look at James' face, which is fine and good. Even though we know now that he was in full, burn makeup, and they could have, and I'm sure you could probably freeze frame on the 4K, and you'll be able to see some of it, like you can in 2018. But man, I loved that scene because it was just so. It got my heart pumping. It was like, oh shit, here we go. And it goes back to that moment of Laurie trying to take the mask off, and just as if what else are you going to try at that point? And it does seem to work for just a brief second. And then there's that shot though that we see James walking, and you can't see his face clearly because he's completely in shadow behind the house, in the alleyway, and it is James in that moment capturing the Nick Castle in the same way that Aaron captured it in those 78 shots. And he's doing it this time even without the mask, without the 78, without the HK. He's maskless, chasing Karen. And it's just a real quick thing, but man, it really stuck with me. And it's just another thing that hits home that James G. Courtney is our ultimate Michael Myers. I mean, I love all the Michael Myers. They are, you know, you know, Tyler Mane most brutal. Okay, like Nick the original. Dick Warlock. He's the one. Like if you heard me and Doug talking in our interview last week, I agree with a lot of what Doug said about Dick Warlock. He is the one that really stepped it up and made Michael the shape and did incorporated so many things in his performance that became standard for Michael ever since. Uh, so, but all that being said, and with all respect to everybody involved, James and Courtney is the ultimate Michael Myers. I mean, you guys tell me if you think I'm wrong. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me who you think the ultimate Michael Myers is. And I'll tell you another reason I say that. I remember probably over 10 years ago going to a horror convention. It was Friday the 13th panel, and a bunch of different uh, Friday the 13th franchise people on the panel. Steve Dash was up there. Rest in peace, Steve Dash, the great Baghead Jason, Friday the 13th Part 2. Kane Hodder's up there, too, and they had like a friendly rivalry. They're just joking around with each other up on stage. But then at a certain point, Steve Dash got somewhat serious, and he said something that I always loved. He said, because he always said, like on his poster, I got a Friday 13th Part 2 poster over here. You can't see it. It's off camera, but right off frame over here, and he signed it the real Jason. So he always said, I'm the real Jason, And he said that. He said, I'm the real Jason, but Kane Hodder is the ultimate Jason. And I got that. I got where he was coming from. I was like, it's hard to argue with that. And to me, that's kind of what I mean with James. I feel, and I said it in my review, I feel like James Jude Courtney is going to be remembered and beloved for his time as Michael Myers in much the same way that Kane Hodder is remembered and beloved for his time behind the Jason mask. You know what I mean? It was like, not the original, but the one that really took it to another level and embodied it for a whole other generation and really powered it through to. We still think of Jason and so many things about Jason the way Kane did with the breathing and all that. You know, so I think James was just wonderful in the film. I mean, all the guys, everybody that worked on it. Like I said, even you heard Douglas talk about doing some doubling and just getting to shoot some inserts and even those type things. I mean, all of it. It was just the ultimate Michael Myers, and that's what I got out of it. And I'm sure next Monday when we gather after I've watched it for a second time, I'll have many more thoughts to talk about and more things to gush about, and maybe a few things to complain about. I don't know, but I really don't have much to complain about. I mean, I remember thinking I kind of wanted a little more to the Tommy Michael showdown. I kind of wanted just a little more to that. And not a whole lot more. I know a lot of people I keep seeing people complaining that there was too many evil dies tonight. Um, and maybe I'll agree after more rewatches, but honestly, maybe because I was so in tune to the marketing and I heard it chanted 3 times in that first trailer and just kind of knew with it being the tagline on the in the ads and everything. Uh, Maybe I was just already expecting it to be a recurring theme throughout. I don't know. I'll see after rewatching a few times, but it didn't bother me really, and yeah, so not a whole lot of complaints right now, but just more of everything, more of Vanessa and Marcus, you know. Yeah, I could take more Big John, Little John. I think those guys were great, and I loved how everybody in Haddonfield kind of looked at the legend of Michael Myers differently. For the survivors, it's very real. It is what it is for them. For Vanessa and Marcus, it's something they kind of heard about, but it's not quite real to them. Not that it's not real. It's just they don't have the knowledge. But then they are open to it when they're like, oh, tell me more. Tell me the real deal. Like I do remember hearing about that back then, and I love that. And then you've got Big John, Little John, who are again living in the Myers house, so they clearly know the history and all, but they also I feel like know it but don't really get it, don't really fear it uh the way they should, like Laurie says in the 2018 film. You don't believe in the boogeyman, well, you should, you know but I loved how they used the house to try to spook the kids, and I loved the kids being all little badass troublemakers, and which again is just makes them having the silver shamrock mask even more perfect, because of course these kids would be like the naughty trick-or-treaters, uh you know with the wicked cool silver shamrock big three. So uh Matt V says, I still have that video, or I'll come get you. That's right. Lewis Moore says Dick Warlock is my fave. Yeah, Dick Warlock. Oh gosh. While I'm plugging all my interviews, and while we're celebrating 43 years of this, check out my interview with Dick Warlock if you haven't already. It was published back in March. I think we actually recorded the interview on St. Patrick's Day. Now that I'm looking back, uh, 43 years of this franchise, 40 years of Halloween to Dick Warlock again. He is the shape to me. Like, Nick originated it, but in 78, you've got so many other people helping with that portrayal. Nick's walk and head tilt are what but that's, Tommy Lee Wallace busting into breaking the closet doors. Anytime there's anything getting broken, that's Tommy Lee Wallace. It's Deborah Hill's hands grabbing the knife in the beginning. It's Will Sandin. And at certain points, it's Jim Winburn doing the fall. It's a lot of people. To me, Dick Warlock was the first one to really be the shape. Nick was the first credited, and rightfully so. He is the first. But Dick was the first to really be it. Not only because he's in every scene where it's Michael, it's him, but also because at the same time he was stunt coordinator. So all those kills, he devised those. He choreographed those. He came up with how to pull all that stuff off. So, yeah, love Dick Warlock. God bless Dick Warlock. Check out my interview. It's in 2 parts. It was published back in March. You can find it here on the channel. And we're going to be sharing a lot of fun stuff like that throughout this week because it's HalloWeek and we're celebrating the franchise. We're celebrating the year we've had. And, of course, that interview was a huge part of it. First time I interviewed Dick Warlock was, again, back in 2015. That's a fun one, too. But this video interview this year was great. Check him out, especially if you love Halloween 2. Halloween 2 is having a moment. Again, it's 40th anniversary. All these awesome licensed products are out like this. I've gotten a ton of Halloween 2 figures this year. But, yeah, so check that one out. And you can also check out my interview with James U. Courtney. He was our very first video interview of 2021 way back in February. And he gave us some early tidbits about Halloween Kills back then. And so check that out. And check out all of our more recent interviews. Like I said, we had Douglas Tate last week. We've got Tristan Eggerling, who plays young Lonnie Elam, on the website, HalloweenDailyNews.com. That's a website exclusive over there with Tristan. Of course, like I said, Diva Tyler. We've got Carmela McNeil, Michael Smallwood, Giselle Witt, and Salem Collins. All these interviews from Halloween Kills cast. They're all right here on the channel. So if you haven't checked them out, go do that. And if you have, and you're one of the people that have left a really nice comment, then thank you so much. And if you haven't left a nice comment, but you watched it, then thank you for watching too, because I really appreciate it. And like I said, during Friday's live stream, it's been a lot of fun doing these interviews, and a lot of you seem to be responding really well and appreciating them. So that's another thing that we're going to be doing a lot more of moving forward. So like I said, even though this is HalloWeek, and it's the end of our year in many ways, all that means is it's the beginning of the new year. And it never ends around here because we are Halloween Daily, where every day is Halloween. You know what I mean, guys? This is to all of you. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Jennifer says Nick Castle is all-time fave. OG. Yep. Let's see. Lewis says, do you like the idea of Tom Atkins making a cameo in Ends? Sure. I'd love it. Absolutely. That would be great. Let everybody from Season of the Witch cameo in it. Why not? Bring Stacey Nelkin in there. I still say they need to have Dick Warlock and all of the other Michaels, Tyler Mayne, Don Shapes, George Wilbur. Have them all in there. Chris Duran, Brad Lurie, all the principal Michael Myers performers sitting in a bar somewhere. Kind of similar to like the bar that we saw in Kills. Wouldn't it have been cool if they were just over there like, I'm out of here. These losers. Something like that. It would have been all the former Michael Myers performers. I always thought that would have been cool. You still got a chance to do it, David Gordon Green. Do it. And Halloween Ends. Do it. And let us hear that Silver Shamrock jingle one more time, David Gordon Green. Come on. I know you want to. What about a Busta Rhymes cameo? As long as, Yes, that'd be fine as long as he's not doing kung fu on Michael. Yeah, but no kung fu on Michael. No, no, can't have that. But sure, he could have a cameo. He has to get killed this time though. I think he got off too easy in Resurrection. He has to get killed. Vibe says Tyler Maine is most brutal, but yes, agree that James is the ultimate. It's just the ultimate, and just it's James the way he embodies the character, but it's also how these films are giving us Michael. I think also, I mean, it couldn't be done without James. I think that's we all see that now. We all see that, but it's also how he's being presented, and this was his masterpiece, Michael's masterpiece in many ways. This night now, yeah, it's pretty impressive. And we've heard from everybody involved that Ends is going to be at least what they said prior. Now we've also heard more recently that David Gordon Green has been doing a lot of revisions on the script. But initially, what we had heard a while back from Malik and David was that Ends would be a much more, while this one goes big and wide, it would be a much more intimate film, which makes sense because everybody's dead now. So we're left with Lori and Allison and I guess Lindsay, right? Uh, and who else? Hawkins. Who am I forgetting? So I would imagine, yeah, it's going to be a much more intimate film, a much smaller, more contained, less people, less carnage. I don't think Michael's going to have a 31-person body count in Ends. But yeah, let's see what they have in store. Let's see what their big crescendo is going to be. I can't wait. That's cool. Lewis says, really surprised we didn't hear Mr. Sandman in Kills. Maybe in Ends we will. Yeah. That would be cool to hear that pop up. Patrick says Blumhouse has mentioned a possible sequel to Halloween 3. That would be interesting. I know many Halloween fans aren't fans of the film, but I love it. What do you think? I love Halloween 3. I talk about it all the time on here. I love Halloween 3. One of my favorite things about these new films is how they've brought the Silver Shamrock masks into this current timeline and made them canon for this timeline. So now, those Silver Shamrock masks are not only Halloween 3 masks. Do you realize that now? Like you got a Silver Shamrock mask. It's a Halloween 3 mask, but it's also a Halloween Kills mask. It's also kind of a Halloween 2018 mask. And it's a you know, it's a Mindy and a Gavin and a Christy mask as worn by the trick or treaters, but it's also now a Marcus, Vanessa, and Marion mask. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see cosplayers doing the dead versions of these characters. I said before that I want to see the couples cosplay of Marcus and Vanessa because you could do the pre-death, but then I think we're going to see some creative after-death versions where they're wearing the masks, they're bloody. I can't wait to see it. Mad Monster Party this February. Bring it. Ken says he's going to kill off the rest of the Strodes and go home. Yeah, probably. Probably. Nathan says, Ken says, or LL Cool J. Again, I mean, yeah, give them all a cameo, and you know, I got no problem with that if it's handled well. Honestly, I mean, I think it would have been. They've said a lot about how they approached Paul Rudd to play Tommy Doyle, and I really think, wow, I'm a huge Paul Rudd fan, and I've said this before. Huge Paul Rudd fan, love him in everything he does, and love him in Curse of Michael Myers. I really think that would have been a wrong move for a lot of reasons because it would have just confused people even more. It would have pissed off certain fans even more. It would have just I I'm kind of glad that he was busy with Ghostbusters and that didn't play out like that. You know what I mean? I mean, it would have been kind of mind blowing to see Paul Rudd in that role in this film. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I would love to see that. I would definitely love to see that. But as things have worked out, I'm not mad that they worked out that way. I feel like that's probably for the best for the success of the film and the future of the franchise. You know, I'm thinking about general viewers who don't really get the continuity anyway. That's just going to add more like, oh, so he was in part 6, but then what about the daughter that he was interacting with in part 6 who died in that one, but now there's this other daughter. You know what I mean? It would just open up so many. Uh, I think they were considering it because he's friends with David, and of course Universal would say, "Yeah, we'll pay a Paul Rudd salary, we'll pay a Paul Rudd price tag because Paul Rudd's going to bring Paul Rudd Ant-Man audiences into a Halloween movie." But I don't think it probably got too much more beyond the thinking than that. Oh, give me 1 second, guys. Give me just 1 minute, guys. Okay, sorry for those technical difficulties, everybody. I keep forgetting that my battery gets extra hot after about 2 hours, and it has been way after 2 hours. Ken singing the Silver Shamrock jingle for us. 5 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. That's right. 8 o'clock tonight. Nathan says, what about get Josh Hartnett to cameo? He was great in H2O. I thought he was great in H2O. Again, I mean, I'd love to see any of these people cameo. I got no problem with that. Um, yeah, I mean, as a fan, I like seeing stuff like that. I like seeing them acknowledge, the past films, even in just small kind of Easter egg ways. So I have no problem with actors who appeared in the previous films, either in big roles or small roles, to come back, even if they're not playing those characters because that's not part of this continuity. Yeah, I got no problem with them coming in and making a cameo appearance and just kind of the filmmaker's way of winking to the fans. I feel like David Gordon Green did a lot of stuff just for us fans in this film. Um, a lot more than 2018, I feel like. Byron says 18 plus 30 equals 48. Michael Myers killed 48 people in one night. Byron has updated the kill count, y'all. Nice to know. 48. Okay. Lewis says, I feel the same way with Danielle Harris. It's a different timeline. It would confuse some people. It wouldn't make any sense. Yes. Like, I even heard that at one point, the Karen character at one version of the script was actually named Jamie, which, again, while I appreciate the sentiment and kind of the acknowledgement and all that, I think that would have just opened up more, like, yeah, how do you do Jamie and it not be Danielle, but at the same time, if it is Danielle, then how, and it's not the same Jamie as before. Yeah, I think it's just hard, and you got to remember that when the people that write the checks, Universal, the marketing, they're looking at the widest possible audience. We know who these people are. We know their importance to this franchise. We know who they played when, and why it's a big deal if they're back as this character or as that character. A lot of general audiences, they would have just seen Paul Rudd in a new Halloween movie. Let me go sign that up. And I guarantee you it would have been pushed. Nobody would have lied about anything, but it would have been pushed kind of like he's one of the legacy actors from 78 returning. Which, I mean, I guess technically he is like that. He's not that, but he's a legacy character from when was 95? Is that when Curse was released? Yeah, he is a legacy actor from the franchise from that film, just not a legacy character from '78. But I do think, I bet you, had that happened, like in that video that was released right before the film came out with all the legacy actors and talking about coming back, I bet you they would have, included him in that and everything. Anyway, I think it's better that it worked out than it didn't, and with Danielle too. Um, I thought she was great as Annie in the Rob Zombie films. I thought that was a great, again, treat for fans that know her and love her as the Jamie Lloyd character, to have her return to the franchise in that way. And I thought they did a lot of cool things with that. And like I always say, I'll say it one more time tonight. Never say never. I would not be surprised about anything. I've spoken here about other people have had the theory, the story idea. Well, you could just pick up Jamie Lloyd, after Halloween 4 40 years later, and you could do that for your 50th anniversary. It'd be cut out parts 5 and 6, and just Jamie Lloyd got locked away at the end of 4, and now it's 40 years later, which would be 50 years after the 78 murders. She breaks out. It's Halloween. It's on. And Danielle could come back and do that. That would be fun and fans would get it. How general audiences would respond, I don't know. I don't know if they'd get the significance of it. I don't know. Honestly, I mean, if I just go back just real quick to what I said earlier tonight. I mean, I love those guys' pitch. The guys that are making the new Hellraiser. Go to Blade Disgusting and read it. Uh, tell me in the comments after you read it what you think about it. I think they got a pretty good idea. And again, not even the specifics of it, but the way to treat the shape, take him out of, so much plot that he gets weighted down. And their idea was, let's free him up and get to a place where he could be anybody, anywhere, and it's on. And the way to do that was take him out of Haddonfield, first of all. And, I think there's a lot to be said for that idea. I love Haddonfield. I think, again, this string of films, obviously, very Haddonfield centric, obviously. Maybe the next string of films in 10 years from now or whatever, maybe they do something like that. Move away from the Haddonfield thing. Definitely move away from the Laurie Strode storyline. If you want to tap into something older like the Jamie Lloyd, it's there. But I kind of think my pick, my gut, like if I'm green lighting something, if I'm Jason Blum thinking of the future, I'd be thinking, or if I'm Malika Khan more directly and accurately thinking of the future, I'd be thinking of what those Hellraiser guys were talking about. Something along those lines of a Michael, a shape that can reemerge every Halloween for no reason, can be an urban legend, and 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 you can carry that on indefinitely, and you can have other interesting characters come into play with that. The common thing being Halloween, and or you can do another season of The Witch. I'd be there for that too. Or the Young Loomis on HBO Max. Or actually, I guess it wouldn't be HBO Max. It'd be Peacock, right? Yeah, it'd be on Peacock. So, uh, all right. Michael Myers takes Manhattan. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Michael Myers takes Manhattan. I don't think we necessarily need that in Manhattan, but other small towns. I think that would probably be the common link. Like he would, and I think that's what they say in their pitch that I liked, is that he would consciously not go to, New York City or big cities like that. It would always be a Haddonfield type place because this is what this guy does. He just kills time, no pun intended, until Halloween, and then I mean they literally have him sitting on a bench. They describe early in the day, sitting on the bench waiting for the sun to set. And then when it gets dark, he puts on his mask and starts killing. And the first people we kill in their treatment and their story idea is all the 911 dispatchers and everybody that works in the 911. So nobody can call 911. That's the first victims in that. So it's a pretty cool idea. And it's just I get what they were going for, and they admit that it was not even like a script. It was just some ideas that they, were kind of throwing together. And but they say in this recent interview with Bloody that they believe that even today, having put this article out and all that, it could still be made today and be made well, like they wanted to do it. And honestly, I do agree. I agree. I'll go on record and say I agree that it could be made today. I mean, maybe not today, make after Halloween ends today. I mean, um, but after Halloween ends, it could be made and could be a way forward, hypothetically. Uh, whether that's still even old man Michael, or if it's another iteration, I I don't even have an answer for that. But I would think that James Drew Courtney, you know, who's not an old man, who's in way better shape than any of us. So, I mean, yeah, don't let me think when I say old man Michael Myers, I mean that with, the most badass respect possible. Uh, but, all right, guys, we are going on almost 1 a.m. I can't believe we are still going here tonight. I got to get out of here. David says Michael goes to Vegas. Nathan says Michael comes to Denver so I can be an extra in the movie. There you go. All right. Yeah, so everybody, Michael versus Art the Clown. There you go, Ken. Yeah. Well, did you see? I saw our another friend of ours, Damian Leone. He posted. I don't think he was a fan of Halloween Kills. I saw a little thing on his Instagram story, and it didn't look like he was very pleased with it. Um, but he was sharing where people were like, they should let the director of Terrifier direct the next Halloween movie. And hey, I would love to see what Damian Leone would do with Michael Myers. And if you watch my interview with him from earlier this year, he's wants actually to do Jason. Like he's got an idea, a pitch for a Friday the 13th film. And man, I know that's all tied up and everything, but I would sign that dude up for, you know, again, I'm totally on board for Halloween Ends. I want David Gordon Green to conclude this. I think he's doing a great job. I want to, but yeah, I would sign Damian Leone up for a Halloween film, a Friday the 13th film, any of those icons. You know, I mean, what he's done with creating his own icon, I'd be on board for that. Totally. Michael Myers escapes the nursing home 2041. Nice. Young says, dope shirt. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like I said, representing. Technically, it's 26th of October now, but 25th is the 43rd anniversary of original Halloween. So celebrating the classic and celebrating, more importantly, 43 years of Michael Myers and counting. 12 films, soon to be 13. Guys, this ride, I mean, when we next gather next Monday, it'll be after October 31st. You know, so, but like I said, we ain't going nowhere. This franchise isn't going anywhere. The hype isn't going anywhere. The news isn't going anywhere. They haven't even shot this film yet. They're just gearing up to go into production. We're going to be right here covering all of that and counting down the minutes like we've been doing. And yeah, so don't think that after October 31st, things are going to slow down too much around here. Maybe a tiny bit, but not too much. Not too much. All right, guys, it is 1 a.m. I got to get out of here and get some rest. I didn't think I was going to be on here this late, but hey, it is the last Triple M before the big day, the greatest day ever, October 31st. So enjoy your HalloWeek, everybody. Enjoy your Halloween weekend. Enjoy your Halloween day and enjoy your Halloween night. And keep it killer, as always, guys. Thank you for joining me. Whether you're watching live or on replay, if there's anything we've talked about and you've got an opinion on it, I'd love to hear from you. Drop us a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Lots of good stuff coming. Like I said, there's stuff I'm not even talking about right now because it's too good to talk about. But if you like Michael Myers and you like Halloween Kills, you're going to be happy with some stuff that we got coming soon. Just don't want to jinx it by talking about it too soon. You know how it goes. And a like on the video, that helps with algorithms and all that shit. And share, invite your friends to join us. We do this every Monday. We geek out. We're going to keep doing it. And again, I'd love to hear what guests you'd like to come on here. Now, I know, don't say Judy Greer and Jamie Lee Curtis. I know you want them on there. I do too. Maybe one day. You know, Jason Blum. Yes. I'm never say never. One day, right? But you know, attainable guests, preferably. You know, you guys know. And yeah, maybe we can get their attention and set something up. And or maybe it's somebody I already am friendly with, and it'll be real easy to set something up. So I'd love to hear your thoughts though of who you'd really like to see on here in a live format where it would be like a little bit of interview, a little bit of Q&A, and probably just some conversation about whatever's going on with the franchise at that moment. but we'll always keep it Michael Myers centric on Mondays for Michael Myers Monday. All right. This has been real, guys. This is not an end, though. Even though we're going into Halloween ends, it's a beginning. It's a beginning of ends. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm going to get out of here before I say something ridiculously stupid, more stupid than I already have. All right, guys, you've all been great. Thank you so much for tonight, for this whole year, and for everything. You guys rock. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Time for a refill. All right, guys. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching.